All right, so future. Hi, how's everyone in the future? All right, so we're just going to do our void setup. In our void draw. Okay. And let's see if we can do this arc here. So I'm just going to make this, just give myself some space to work with here. All right, so let's see what I got. I got a little baby arc, okay? What I can do is I can store that seconds function again. Blah. Second. Okay? And I can pass that second into here. Okay? Now, anybody want to guess why this isn't moving? Yeah, absolutely. So we can put this in draw. And that should be moving. Why is it not? Okay, let's move on. Let's do something else that might work. Don't worry about that for right now. Really simple things that you can do. You saw how we mixed the timing into the little jewel that we made, right? So like you can do, if you wanted to, you could do like 4 different 3D shapes that are kind of like floating around in space. Maybe they're bouncing off the walls, but they're getting bigger or smaller as the seconds go. Okay, so you can get as abstract with it. It does not have to look like a clock at all. It just has to sort of tell time. All right. So for instance, I could do my ellipse. And maybe I'm going to use the seconds for this one. Okay, so this is getting bigger, slightly bigger every second. Let's change it to millis so we could see it moving a little better. Okay, so it's getting bigger every millisecond. Okay, y'all seeing that? Okay, so this is increasing. It's going second by second, but it's increasing in size every time a second runs. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so that's just like one small example of what you could do. Some other things that you could do. You could put. So let me show you. I'm just gonna send this code to myself just to show you some other really simple things that you could do rather than just like typing it out. Just give me 1 second here. And I'll give you this code so that you can change it and mess around with it for your homework. I'm putting it in homework. All right. Wrong class. Homework. Okay. Shit. Come here. Right. I'll put this in here. Get rid of this stuff. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so here's some examples. All right. So this is this one here is running on the milliseconds, and this here is running on the seconds. And what I'm doing is I'm just using this rotate function with my, so this should all look really similar. Here, let's get rid of this one. We don't need to worry about this one for now, okay? Let's just take a look at this one. All right, here's your push pop matrix. Remember all that? Here's your translate. Here's your rotate, your fill, your ellipse. The only thing that I'm putting the variable on, the variable for the second function, is the rotate, okay? Which allows me to create this rotating motif, okay, every second. So every second it's going to print out a shape at a different rotation, all right? Here's an example of the of that arc working, okay? All right, so the arc working. What you need to do for that is you'll mix in your radians, and we just need to add some larger maths to it so that we can get it to articulate. So it only goes 0 to 60. So it actually was changing before, but it just wasn't changing fast enough for us to see, right? It's because we go from 0 to 360. Seconds only goes from 0 to 60. Are y'all following me? So we need to just increase that number. Does that make sense? All right. So, you know, if I do times 5, it's whatever second it is times 5. So then it'll increase. Because before, if I just do seconds here in my radians, it's changing, but it's changing like so slow. See that? Okay. So if you do want to make something that looks like it's kind of like tick-tocking, you could do that. I'll show you one last thing about working with the arc, because these are just fun to use with your clocks. Okay. The arc has some other functions. All right, so you can say how you want it to behave. You could say, and there's really great examples here. You could say open, so it's just completely chopped off. You could say chored, which it's chopped off, but it has a line here. Or you could say pi. And what pi is it has a line, has a full outline, but it goes from angle 1 to the center and then along the other angle. So if I go back in here and I say pi, then it'll have that full outline. Okay? All right. And just one other thing about this before we get going. All right. When you see pi, so I actually have radians, seconds, minus pi, half pi. Just think of pi. You don't have to worry about it so much right now in terms of like what is the math, et cetera, et cetera. Just think of it as a foolproof way to make shit go in circles. Okay, so you could mix pi in any way that you want. We could do divided by pi, I think. Yeah, divided by pi. We could do times pi. All right, because this is, in between these two commas is like 1 unit, right? Okay, so then that'll increase the size. All right, is that making sense to everybody? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this code up with some comments. I'm going to delete it where it is right now. I'm going to put some comments on this, all right? And then I'll upload it so that you can use it for your homework. So again, you got to make an abstract clock. It has to articulate 4 things: millis, seconds, minutes, hour, okay? I would say foolproof bet is to store your time functions in separate variables, and then just have some fun. Like, we did some weird stuff today. We tried some new shapes. We tried some 3D stuff. What was your favorite thing from today? Sorry. The 3D thing. Make a bunch of weird 3D shit that is floating around, changing based on the seconds, okay? It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to look like a clock. The reason it's an abstract clock is it's just using those timing functions, and you're just making kind of something weird and fun out of it, all right? If you want to write conditional statements and say, if seconds equals 60, then do this. You can do all that kind of stuff too, okay? So I'll throw an example in here to show you what that would look like. and I'll upload it so that you have an example, okay? This will be due Wednesday because we do not have class on Monday, okay? Okay, questions, comments, concerns? Yeah.
This will be our second homework technically, right?
Yeah, so this will be your second processing homework. It'll be due on Wednesday. Yeah, so you have a little time. Yes. Yes, thank you.